Hey Naz.
Hey Joe.
Hey, where are we now?
Well, we're going up market, Joe. We're in Dublin and we are in one of the fancy hotels.
Fantastic.
There's two big hotels, big hitters in Dublin, the Shelbourne and the Merrion.
Wow.
And this afternoon we're going in the Merrion.
And we're going to have afternoon tea, aren't we?
Together.
Yeah, and you know that I love afternoon tea. I'm a bit of an aficionado on afternoon tea. I've been to a lot of them recently, so I'm really excited to see what this one's like. And this place does look quite upmarket. This is a very upmarket part of Dublin, isn't it?
Swanky.
This road, Merrion Street, I think this is on. Yeah, Merrion Hotel. Apparently this was 4 different Georgian houses back in the day, and then they've molded it all into one big hotel. That was back in the 1760s, of course.
And they've extended at the back as well, so it's quite a sizable property now. And interesting fact, did you know the Duke of Wellington was born here?
Wow, that is quite impressive.
He's the dude that defeated Napoleon at Waterloo.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. So, 250 years plus of food and afternoon teas here. Let's go and see what it's like.
Let's check it out.
Okay now, so here we are inside the drawing room of the Merrion Hotel. I have to say, this is not like any afternoon tea that I've been to before. So normally you're in a restaurant, it's traditional tables with tablecloths and it just feels like a sort of posh version of a restaurant. This doesn't feel like that. This feels like coming and sitting in somebody's drawing room, as you would have 100 years ago, 200 years ago. You'd have a special room called the drawing room where you would entertain guests and maybe serve them a little bit of cake and a bit of tea. So from that point of view, this is something very, very different to anything I've experienced before. So I'm quite excited about that.
So Joe, is it a little bit like going around your grandma's for tea?
Very much so, yeah, very much so. So when back in the day when I was a nipper and used to go round to, well, I called her my nan rather than my grandma. I'd go around to my nan's house and then we'd go to visit some of her friends and they would have a special room for entertaining people. No music, no telly, no entertainment, silence. And then usually everybody sat all feeling a bit awkward in silence, and then somebody would come in and wait for a conversation to start and you'd think, can I leave yet? But this feels a bit more relaxed than that, doesn't it? It's a bit more calm.
I wonder if we're treating this in too much of a relaxed fashion. I've just clocked that both of us are in t-shirts and we're in incredibly posh.
Yikes. Yeah. There's a lot of people seem to be celebrating their birthdays and anniversaries and things, and yeah, anyway, and I wouldn't mind, but my t-shirt, unfortunately, have a look at the back of it. It's got a big thing on the back of it, so it's not even like a staid t-shirt. But anyway.
Yeah. So if you're coming here, if you're planning to come here, it's an excuse to dress up.
Yeah, I forgot to put my trousers on as well, actually. But I did bring a pair of trousers with me to put on for these events. But we got so caught up in the excitement of Dublin that we didn't do it. Anyway, let's have a look at this menu. Now, before we start, the reason why this is called the Art Tea, you can see here it says Art Tea, is because this place, the Merrion, has the largest private art collection in the whole of Ireland. And some of it's obviously very expensive. And you get this souvenir book, which actually features a lot of the art that's based here at the Merrion. So it gives you all the different photos and some information about the artists, and it's quite a nice little touch that's complimentary. And the reason why it's called the Art Tea is because some of the pastries that you get at the end are based on the works of art, and they rotate it. So we've got 3 here. So they've given us it on this nice little presentation stand. So this one is called Madonna and Child. So that is going to feature in one of our pastries today.
So apparently they rotate them every week and they pick 3. So alongside yours we've got fruit and game, and we've got frying pan, funnel, eggs and lemons.
So it'll be interesting to see how the actual desserts compare to these actual works of art. I'm pretty sure they're quite good at doing it, but let's wait and see.
Now the cards are stood on these little forks where the ends have been bent round to be able to...
I have to say this place does have a very cool vibe to it. That even though it is it's got the old-fashioned flavour of a drawing room, it still feels modern and cool and a bit hip. So I'm really liking just the feel of it, and the staff are really friendly. I mean, everywhere you go in Dublin, everybody's friendly, but really friendly. We asked if it was okay if we could film, and they were like, yeah, absolutely. They've even brought us a table that we could put, some of our food and things on to not have to move the camera. Here's the menu, and it's traditional style of the starters. So the savouries, we're going to get a selection of 5 different sandwiches. We'll go through it when they arrive. Then we're going to have my personal favourite, the scones, and I like to benchmark those scones.
Joe, is it scones or scones?
Well, that is the perennial debate, isn't it? So, what do you say?
I'm a scone.
You're a scone?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a scone.
So my mum was from the Midlands, and they were definitely, when I was growing up, she referred to them as scones. And I think, depending on, usually it's the mum, isn't it? However your mum pronounces, that's the way.
Well,
that's how it sticks with you.
So for me, it's a scone, and here I can tell you that the Queen, and when I say the Queen, I don't mean the current Queen, because when I think of the Queen, I don't think of the current Queen.
She's dead.
Exactly, I think of Queen Elizabeth II. The King's wife, who's currently the Queen, not for me. But anyway, the Queen, she said scone. So if it's good enough for the Queen, it's good enough for me. So he's a scone, I'm a scone, but either way, they're going to taste delicious, hopefully. But interestingly, they come with something extra here today. We'll have a look at that when it comes as well, so that's going to be a surprise. And then we've got those amazing desserts and pastries to finish off with.
And then they have a pretty extensive tea selection, and they split the tea selection between the sort of heavier, savoury teas and then the lighter ones. So I think the idea is that you go for the chunky teas. You start with like a breakfast or afternoon tea with the sandwiches, and then you go for a lighter tea afterwards. I've broken ranks and I've gone straight for a green tea.
You're just a born rebel, aren't you?
I know.
Just can't stick with the programme.
I've asked for a recommendation, and they have suggested the hojicha, which is
well
a
pronounced.
fantastic tea from Japan. The leaves are roasted and boost pleasing woody note. Boast.
Well, either way.
It says boost, but I'm assuming
Maybe it's a
they meant
boost.
boast.
Yeah, maybe it's
boost
a boost.
pleasing woody note.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait and see. So I've gone for the English breakfast tea just to sort of see the standard to start with. In terms of the categories of teas, we've got black teas, flavoured teas, fruit and herbal, green teas, more flavoured green teas, and then an interesting one of the white tea. Now, I have come across white tea before at one of the other afternoon teas that I went to, but quite unusual to have a white tea. So I might try that one a bit later and see what it's like.
So, Joe, do you know the difference between a white tea, green tea, and a black tea?
Not really.
I can help you there.
Go on then.
I've been on a trip to Sri Lanka, and we stayed at a tea plantation, and we took a tour of the tea plantation. So they're essentially the same leaves, but they oxidize the leaves by putting them through a machine that twists them, and then it kind of exposes the fluid and the cells within the fluids to the oxygen, and they oxidate. And black teas would be heavily oxidized, so they're really twisted. Green teas would be next, they're sort of partially twisted. And then white tea is barely touched, so it's barely oxidized. And the oxidization is what produces the sort of density of the flavour.
I quite fancy that white tea then. I'll definitely give that a go. And you can also get coffees and hot chocolate here as well, all included in the price. And the price of this afternoon tea is €75. So I think it's one of the more expensive ones in Dublin, but when you compare it to London prices, it's actually pretty decent. That's quite a good price.
If you're celebrating, you can always go for the champagne extra, which is another €20 on top.
Well, that's just the first class. So there's a special promotion for the first class. I think it's more expensive if you want more than one glass. But we won't be having any glasses of champagne. But our tea has now arrived. Okay, so I've got my breakfast tea here. It's been poured. It comes in these really nice little silver teapots. Let's see what I think. It's a really good blend, actually. That's really smooth, not too harsh, because I don't have any milk in it. So for me, when I'm having black tea, I get to taste all of the tea. There's no issue with just tasting milk, which I think it's a travesty when people put milk in tea. Yeah, that's really nice. And it's an Irish blend as well, so good start. I like that. I'll have a bit more of that later.
And this is the Japanese green tea. Thank you. As you can see, the afternoon tea has arrived. But,
fantastic. We'll go through that in a minute.
I'm going for my first sip. I always get a little bit of apprehension before you get that first sip because you don't know how hot it is.
Yeah.
And if you've not put milk in it as well, it could scold you. But let's go in. Oh, that's really nice. That's got a very, very deep flavour. It's almost, I'd say that's closer to a black tea than a green tea. It's a really, really punchy green tea.
It's interesting.
It's delicious.
It's very different colour, isn't it? If you compare the two colours, you can see that mine is much darker, my English breakfast tea, much darker than that green tea. So, and I think they've been brewed the same level. It's not just that hasn't been in as long.
Right,
okay,
Joe, what
the
have we got
food's
on
here.
there?
So, this is just the start of it. So we've got 3 tiers in this really nice presentation. Let's talk about these sandwiches.
Sambos.
So, the sandwiches, which is always the starting point for any cream afternoon tea. So what have we got here? Ham and mustard, smoked salmon. What's that one? Oh, cucumber and cream cheese. We've got chicken, and then in these 2 brioche buns, we have got egg mayonnaise.
So you've got Irish corn-fed chicken breast with truffle mayonnaise on whole grain bread.
Right. Let's start with that. Okay. There you go.
Thank you, Joe.
Right, let me just put this down there for a second. Okay, so first point to note, this is a really, really chunky sandwich. So it's quite big. It's probably 3 or 4 bites in that, but they're really big bites. And you can see the thickness of the bread, really thick. So this is like proper doorstop sandwiches, and it's got a really good amount of filling in there. So
that's real slice of chicken breast, not a packet sliced. Looks good. How is it, Joe?
Chicken's really good. Chicken's really good. It's a bit thick though. That's my only complaint, is that when you come for an afternoon tea, you want a selection of everything. You want just a nibble of this and a nibble of that, and over the course of the afternoon tea you suddenly think, I'm really full now, because you've had this sort of small amounts of large quantities of food. This is a large quantity of food in itself, so if I eat this and those other sandwiches, I'm going to feel a bit full before I get to the scones. And then there's also this secret layer here that we haven't even talked about yet. So for me, it's a bit too big.
I think the bread's a bit too dry.
Too
like
thick.
It's and
Too thick.
I'm not sure it's completely fresh.
It does feel a little bit hard on the corners, like the edge of the bread does feel a little bit like it's got a bit of a ridge on there, but quite thick, that one. Now, they're all about the same thickness. What would you like next?
Well, you can't go wrong with a ham, can you?
Hopefully
Ham
not.
and mustard.
Hopefully not. Now, this isn't quite as substantial as the chicken one. The chicken one's a bit thicker in terms of the width, the amount of bread on there, but still pretty thick in terms of the slices. They're thick slices of bread.
French whole grain mustard in there, and a couple of slices of ham.
So the ham's quite nice quality. It's quite salty, so sort of very, very salted ham. The mustard, quite light flavour, doesn't really overpower it. Not a bad sandwich, but my same point is that it's a bit too big. It's a bit too substantial for an afternoon tea to be having 5 sandwiches of this size. Now, you want value for money, and some people look at the quantity of food when they're rating how good something is, but for me, it's about the quality. It's not bad quality, but it's too big.
I'd also like something a little bit different. I mean, a plain white bread, slice of ham, and a slither of French whole grain mustard. I could do that at home. I could even cut the crusts off.
Well, and I think that's a debate with afternoon tea, that sometimes, some of the afternoon teas that I've been to have been a bit more exotic and a bit more sort of groundbreaking. So the Shard, for example, you get a slice of pork pie, you get a tart, and you get all these other things that are sort of savoury flavours, but not traditional sandwiches. But some people want the traditional cucumber sandwich, ham sandwich, chicken sandwich. So it does tick the box in terms of what they're giving us. I just think it could have been done a bit more delicately than it's been done so far. And we've got, I'm feeling like I've had a bit of food. Let's have this salmon one.
The one that's taken my fancy actually is the egg one.
Save that one.
That's a brioche bun, and that looks like a sandwich I couldn't make at home.
Let's save this one. So
what are we doing?
This is the salmon one, smoked salmon. So again, very, very thick bread. So you can see it's really chunky, quite big. I have to say, before I've bitten it, it feels a little bit hard, a little bit almost stale. And now maybe it's the type of bread, I don't know, but it feels a little bit like the chicken one, that it's been out for a while.
No. Smoked salmon sandwich.
Yeah. It tastes all right, just a bit, again, too thick for me. Half the size in terms of the thickness of the bread. I like my sandwiches to be a bit more delicate than that. It's okay. Okay, let's go for the last, the cucumber one, which is always my favourite. You know, if I'm having sandwiches, this is usually my favourite.
So, Joe, I hear you about traditions and not changing things, but this bread feels like something that's come out of a thick sliced bag of bread. And, you know, it would have been nice to have something like a nice sourdough or, you know, a bit more interesting on the bread.
In terms of proportions, when I'm looking at my cucumber sandwich, what I like to see normally is an equal split. So the bread to be the same thickness as the filling for the cucumber, that really gives me a good flavour. On this, we've got hugely over proportionate amount of bread. So it's like, 80% bread and 20% filling? Yeah, too bready.
Sorry, Joe, I don't see the point of that. Cucumber is something you put in with a cheese sandwich or a ham sandwich.
Come on. Cucumber sandwiches can be brilliant.
Really?
It needs to be thicker, it needs to be juicier, it needs to be less bready, more cucumbery. This one is almost like there's a slither of cucumber. It's like when you get a pickle in a burger, it's a little bit of pickle. It tastes a bit like that.
Do you know, interestingly, the cucumber's been peeled as well, and actually a lot of the flavours in the skin of it, so it doesn't really taste of cucumber.
That was a bit disappointing, unfortunately. Okay, this bad boy next.
Now, interestingly with this, all the fillings in that middle, so I don't know how to bite it to get an even balance of filling and bread. If you bite from the side, that's going to be all bread.
It's another monster sandwich, so it's really big, really big. Yeah, let's see what it's like. Oh, there's a lot of bread to filling ratio.
Very light brioche bun.
I like the filling. The filling's really tasty, and the bun's very light. If it was half the size, the bun, I think that would be a really good sandwich to have an afternoon tea. But I just think you look at the amount of bread compared to the filling is just too much. I'm here for the filling. I'm not here for the bread. And, you know, all of these sandwiches, the filling is what gives you the taste. That's what is the exciting part. The bread is just there just to make up the numbers. But here, it's mostly bread and a little bit of filling. So, a bit disappointed with these sandwiches overall. There's another layer here that is very unusual. I've not seen this in any afternoon tea before. We've got a layer of cakes. So this isn't the cakes that you get at the end, because we've got these special art cakes. This is basically slices of cake. And we've got 4 different types here. So we've got lemon cake at the front, which has got frosting on the top. We've then got porter cake, which has got Guinness in it, which is why it's black. And then these two are Battenbergs, based on a work of art by a guy called Sean Kelly, which looks like this, which apparently is hanging just around the corner. We can go and have a look at it if we want. But what I'm worried about is that it's 4 rounds of cake each before we get onto the best bit of the afternoon tea, which is the scones. So,
some people might think that the cake bit is the best bit.
Yeah, I do like a cake. I haven't got anything against cake, but I'm just thinking, I'm glad I didn't eat all of those massive sandwiches now that I'm having 4 cakes before my scones.
I'm curious about the porterhouse cake. That should be interesting.
Well, let's take it in the order that they've served it.
Okay.
Let's go with the lemon cake first.
Okay.
So, here it is. Looks a nice piece of lemon cake, bit of frosting on the top. Probably 4 bites in this. Give it a go. As is using a knife, I'm not bothering. Well,
Pleasant.
it's all right. A bit stodgy for me. I like a bit of lemon cake. I like it to be light and fluffy. This is a bit more bready, a bit heavier.
I'm going to be picky again. It feels like it's been sat out for a while. It's got that sort of slight crusting around the edges of it, going a little bit stale.
Yeah, if I was making this, I wouldn't be that happy with that cake if I was making it. No. I think it needs to be lighter. It's a bit heavy, a bit soft, and a bit sort of soggy.
Yeah.
Didn't really like it.
It's a bit anemic looking as well.
Right, I'm not eating the rest of that because I've got all these other cakes. And wow. So this porter cake is like a fruit cake. You can see it's got fruit embedded in it. It's like twice the weight of that lemon cake. It's really heavy and it's really sticky around the outside.
It's almost like a malt loaf.
Feels a bit like it. Smells like it as well. It smells very much like a Christmas cake. If you've ever had Christmas cake when you get that.
Loads of dried fruit in there. Christmas cake.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like. And it's really dense and heavy. So if you eat all of this and you eat all of that lemon cake,
you'll be doing well.
You wouldn't get to the scones, I don't think, because it's a lot of food. I mean, on the plus side, you do get a lot of food here. So if you're coming in, you're hungry, you could eat all of the sandwiches and all of these cakes and all of the scones.
And they give you refills. You can have a
right.
refill on any of the...
You can get everything refilled. Now, normally, if you've seen my afternoon tea videos before, you'll know that I often get a refill. Yeah, I don't know whether we will yet, but we might do. We'll see. Okay.
Right, Joe.
That was quite
How do you
heavy.
feel about Battenberg cake? This is a throwback to childhood, isn't it? So loads of icing around there. I'm not a massive fan of icing, I have to say.
Well, I don't like Battenberg.
Don't you?
No, I don't like marzipan, which is the thing that's wrapped around the outside of a Battenberg.
I'm not sure how I feel about really brightly coloured cakes either.
It's
Any colouring in there.
So marzipan's not my favourite. It's it's almond flavoured. It's just something. When I was younger, Battenberg, we used to have Mr. Kipling's Battenberg. It was like pretty cheap and cheerful. Didn't really like it.
You were lucky.
Yeah, no, we were posh, obviously.
Spoiled.
Yeah, but let's see what this Battenberg's like.
You have to like marzipan. And I'm not a massive fan of marzipan.
No.
Not for me. Very sweet as well.
It's mostly marzipan, isn't it? That's the taste and the flavour.
And
It's quite sticky and heavy.
There's a
thick.
sort of a jammy layer between the different sponges in there. Just extra sweetness and sugar. No, not for me.
Right, we'll have to try the other one, but I've got a feeling it's going to taste exactly the same because it's got the same marzipan on the outside. It's got different colouring, different. I mean, it looks quite nice. It's quite nicely presented.
Right, I'm taking the marzipan off.
Yeah, tastes the same as the other one. Exactly the same.
Same cake, different food colouring.
Yeah, not for me. Okay, I'm going to have a cup of tea.
It's going well, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, well, yeah. It looked good. I was quite excited. I mean, the setting is amazing. It's really nice. It's everything about it looks good. But so far, the 2 rounds of food that we've had have been really underwhelming, stroke disappointing. This is the first time I've been to afternoon tea that I haven't eaten all of the things that have been given. And normally, all the sandwiches go, and then you're straight into the scones. This extra layer of cake, whilst it was a surprise, I didn't really like it.
Right, Joe, should we get clean plates? Kind of like a...
Get some clean plates to see in a minute. Okay, Naz, it's now time for my very favourite part of any afternoon tea, the scones. This is the acid test to see whether or not this is worth coming to, because if the scones are good, it might be worth it. If the scones are bad, do not come.
So, Joe, can I ask, are you a plain scone or scone with raisins?
I'm a fruit scone all day long. I mean, you get both here, so you can try both. And we've got quite a lot of scones. We've got 6. Normally you only get 4. So you've got an extra scone each, which is a bit of a bonus. And you've got 4 raisin and 2 plain. So I like that from the setup. Now, what are you after? What's your poison?
I'm going to go for 1 of each.
Good work. Okay,
Thank you, Joe.
I will do the same. Now, hold on a second.
You're not supposed to cut them, are you?
No.
Break them.
So the way the royal family do it, they should break naturally in half. So you should just be able to pull it apart.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
no, well, that's good news. That's a good start, that it actually came apart. And
You're going in for the fruit scone.
good amount of fruit in there. Oh, yeah. No. Now, the other thing with afternoon tea is that we've got 3 different things here. So we've got, do you remember the flavour of the jam?
It's raspberry.
Raspberry, that's unusual. Normally strawberry. And then we've got some lemon curd, which is quite popular.
Is that not unusual? I've never had lemon curd with a scone.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've been to quite a lot of afternoon teas, and I'd say 50% serve lemon curd.
Would you put that on with clotted cream?
Yeah. So the other debate here is which way around do you do it? Do you put your jam on first, or do you put your cream on first?
You put your cream on first.
Well, there's a difference. Devon and Cornwall, opposite. So one puts jam on, one puts cream on first. So which way are you doing?
I'm doing clotted cream first and then the jam on top. But
well,
I think I'm going to go for lemon curd.
Okay, and so the way to do this as well is with the spoon rather than with your knife. So just pop it straight onto the scone, onto the spoon. There we go. So, and I'm going to do cream on mine second. So I'm doing the opposite to that.
Trying a bit of this clotted cream on its own.
There we go. Now, I have to say the cream, great consistency.
That's nice.
Really nice and soft, which, if it's too hard, if it's too like butter that hasn't been out of the fridge, then it ruins it. So that looks really good. It's come on really nicely. Let's see what it tastes like.
All right. I haven't had lemon curd for years. I do love it.
See what you think of that, because I find it very different to the lemon curd that you buy from the supermarket. So I'm waiting for you to get a taste of that before I make a comment on the scone.
Oh, that's really nice. The cream's lovely.
So, on the positive side, these scones are a really good size. I think that's a good, nice, petite size that you can enjoy. If they're too big, too thick, then it's too much scone versus the topping. So I'm happy with the size of it.
They're very light, the scones.
Yeah, I think for me, I've had much better scones than this recently. So I like it, but it's more towards the bready end of the scone spectrum. So it's got a bit more texture, it's a bit more solid than some scones. It holds together well, so it doesn't break apart, which is annoying if you get it and they start crumbling. But for me, it's a bit too much chew in it. I like it to be a bit more cakey, a bit softer. This is a bit like a mixture of bread and scone.
Can you see what Joe's done? He's putting jam in the cream. I'm not happy about that, jam.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well...
You could give us 2 spoons, couldn't they? What do you think of lemon curd?
I like it. I do like lemon curd, actually.
It's quite different to the lemon curd you get in the supermarkets, usually. I don't know what this one's like. Let me test it.
I haven't had lemon curd for so long, I can't even benchmark it.
It looks like butter. It looks very much like butter. Where's that cream? You put your cream on first, haven't you?
Right, I'm having this fruit scone, bit of raspberry jam, clotted cream. Let's go. In one, or do you bite?
I would bite it, but it's up to you. Depends how big your bite is.
It's really nice jam.
The jam's really good. So the lemon curd is very delicately flavoured. It's got a hint of lemon, I would say, rather than if you buy supermarket lemon curd, it has like a powerful lemon flavour. This is a bit more creamy, a bit more subtle. For me, I always prefer the jam. The lemon curd I found is a bit too close to the consistency of the clotted cream.
Yeah, that's
and
a good point.
It's like it feels more like double cream, a bit too much mush. Whereas with the fruitiness of the jam, and it's just a different texture. So, I mean, each to their own, but it's okay.
Good afternoon tea knowledge, Joe.
Well, I've done my work and put the hours in. So the other scone's broken quite nicely. Let's try out some of this jam.
Are we actually trying anything here, or just eating? Are they just watching us scoffing scones here?
It's all in the art of research, isn't it? It's hard work, but someone's got to do it. So I have to say, overall, this is by far my favourite part of this afternoon tea so far. This is the best bit by miles.
I'm going to try it your way, Joe. I'm putting the lemon curd on.
You'll never go back.
And then I'm putting the cream on top.
You'll never go back.
So, let's see.
There you go.
Okay, let's see.
It does actually make it taste differently. Even though you think it's exactly the same, whatever's on the top gives you the overriding consistency flavour. So if you put the jam on first, it has that sort of creamy, fruity flavour, whereas you put the cream on first, it has a sort of creamy, fruity flavour, which sounds the same, but is actually different in combination.
I'm not sure I agree with any of that, actually.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Disregard that. So, for me, that was the best part of so far. But we've got the piece de resistance coming up next, which is basically
more
the pastries. No, not more Battenberg, hopefully. Hopefully no more marzipan. We have got the little pastries that are made with the works of art. Now, I've just ordered a white tea. If I can just pick this up. Oh, it's the wrong one. What's this one?
Hey, give me my tea back.
That's stealing your tea. Your tea looks very white. Well, so does mine, though.
My bad.
Okay, here's the white
Thank you.
tea. You can see it's very white, very clear. Compare that to the black tea and the green tea we had earlier. It's almost
I'm not
like
going to show
water.
you mine because it looks exactly the same as Joe's.
Is it the same?
Yeah.
Are they both white teas?
No, mine's a green tea with jasmine.
Okay. It looks really hot. It looks roasting hot.
Oh yeah, I'm getting a massive hit of jasmine off that. It's very nice.
Oh, the white tea. It does taste a bit like flavoured water, I would say. Which obviously all tea's flavoured water, but this just tastes more watery than tea. I'm not sure I'd have that again.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me put that down.
Scones were good, weren't they?
They were good. Right. We're going to now finish off these scones and we'll see you in a moment for the works of art.
We've got our last course.
Well, this is the whole reason for coming for this afternoon tea. The art afternoon tea is based on this art. So we showed you at the beginning the 3 works of art that these things are based on. This is what they are. And now we've got them in reality. So let's have a look and see what we think of this. I'll just show you the way they're presented. So the presentation is exceptional. It's really good. It's really impressive. So this is, I mean, that is as good as it gets. I've said before that when you're looking at cakes, it really gives you a flavour as to how good the chefs are and, you know, what their artistry is like. I mean, these are works of art. Even if they weren't actual copies of works of art, I think they are works of art in themselves. So really impressed with the presentation. What do you think now?
It is very impressive. So what we've got here is, the first one is a toffee apple. The next one is a vanilla cookie with orange cream in it.
Yep.
And then the last one is a cheesecake, and it's got a replica of the colours of the artwork around it. It's a passion fruit cheesecake.
Yeah, that one's got orange curd in it.
Orange curd.
You can't call it cream anymore. It's curd. You've got to ramp up. Oh,
Okay.
what about the brown thing there?
Now, apparently it's my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
So-
Congratulations.
Thanks, Joe. It's always someone's birthday when Joe books afternoon
Oh, yeah.
tea.
I'd
just
like a
to-
birthday.
Just to see what we get. And
Yeah,
we've got a
and-
little chocolate button each to celebrate my
does say
birthday.
the Merrion on it. So there you go. I got one as well, even though it's not my birthday. So, right, better get started.
Which one are we going to start with?
So, I sort of feel like that biscuit one looks like an easiest one to start with, because you can just pick it up. And now this work of art, this is what the actual representation is on there, and it's called Frying Pan Funnel, Eggs and Lemons. So it's a bit of a weird one. And it just strikes me, it looks a little bit like a skeleton, like a sort of ghost skeleton, the sort of thing that you might see at Halloween. And that's what the real thing looks like, so it's pretty similar.
So, Joe, this reminds me of something the kids would make at school at Halloween time. It takes you it's a throwback to childhood, I think, a cookie like that.
There you go, I'm pulling it off the little gold thing, but yeah, let's just bite it. It's quite big, and as a dessert goes, it's quite a lot of biscuit here. Seems a shame to eat it, but there we go. Yeah, so it's presented as a biscuit, but it's sort of like a cross between a biscuit and a cake.
It's kind of like a shortbread biscuit.
It's sort of very delicate, melts in the mouth, so the biscuit part of it literally just dissolves as you eat it. Very strong lemony flavour, like that. It's got this orange curd in there. Can't really taste the orange as much, mostly lemon. That's really nice. That's probably the nicest thing that I've had at this afternoon tea so far. That was definitely a winner. I like that. What are we going to go for next?
I think the passion fruit is the easiest one, the cheesecake
Okay.
to eat.
That's based on this work of art. And it's called Madonna and Child. So
I'm going to split this in half.
see if I can cut it down the middle,
there
see
we
what
go.
happens with that. There we go, got a nice cross cut on that. There you go, that was your cross cut.
Looking good. So you've got some kind of jammy, gooey stuff going on in the middle.
Yeah, there you go, that's mine with the little horns on the top. Quite light, quite delicate. It's really soft.
You can taste the passion fruit.
It's nice. I thought it was going to be a cake. I thought it was going to have some sponge and texture to it, but it's basically, it is like a cheesecake. It's very
cheesecake,
soft,
yeah.
isn't it? But a light cheesecake, not too heavy. So pretty good.
That's my favourite so far.
Yeah, both of these art desserts are really good. They're miles ahead of everything else that we've had at this afternoon tea. Now, what's this last one?
So on top is a replica of the painting in the frame.
That's Fruit and Game, which is this painting. So Fruit and Game.
Made out of chocolate. I'm going in for that.
Okay, see that? There you go, there's the actual.
Nice dark chocolate button.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. And then this is toffee apple.
Thank you very much.
It's quite heavy. So this is
Thank you.
some sort of toffee apple dessert. Let's see if I can cut it and we can see what the cross section looks
Get
like.
in there, Joe.
Yeah, there we go. Oh look, looks a bit like an egg. So inside, we've got like a sort of soft cheesecakey type thing with a bit of flavouring in there. Let's see what it tastes like. I've just had half of it. It's quite big. There's quite a lot of dessert in there.
It's kind of It's more of a custardy type of thing than a cake.
Yeah, I'm not
Very
sure I
sweet.
like that one as much.
No, I don't like it.
Definitely like the other two. That one, not really to my liking. I'm not even sure what the overriding flavour is on that.
Apple, I think. Toffee apple. It doesn't really
Yeah,
taste
it doesn't really taste like that. It just sort of, it does taste a little bit like cold custard, doesn't it? If somebody gave you a big spoonful of cold custard and said, open wide, here comes the train.
Yeah, bit
no,
gooey and
not for
squidgy.
me. So I like the biscuit, I like that. Let's try this chocolate. It's JC chocolate. Happy birthday. Congratulations again.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to finish off these. We're going to have a bit more tea. I've just got some peppermint tea, which again looks very, very light.
And I've gone for a ginger tea.
Oh, that's nice. That goes well with that chocolate that I've just had, actually.
Oh, that
That's
cleanses the palate.
That's good. Okay, so we're going to finish off these biscuits and cakes, and we'll see you at the end for the wrap-up. Okay, now, so here we are at the end of our afternoon tea, the art afternoon tea, in fact, at the Merrion Hotel. We've got the bill here. So, as I said at the start of this video, it's €75 per person. So that's 150, and then the gratuity here is actually optional. So you don't have a fixed service charge, it's just whatever you want to give. So we've given €20 tip because the service was very good, happy with that. So all in €170, which is roughly around about £150, something like that. So about £75 each. So not cheap, it's certainly up there in terms of the pricing. It's not quite at the very premium level that we've got in London for some of the really expensive ones, but not cheap. So, what did we think? How are you feeling about your score?
Well, it's a lovely place, and you know, to have an excuse to come in and spend time in a really lovely room like this, I suppose, you know, it's worth it from that perspective. Staff were really friendly, really efficient. The tea menu was incredibly extensive, and you know, it didn't feel like an imposition in any way. You're constantly invited to come and try more tea. So we ordered 3 pots of tea each to try different teas, and they were all really, really exceptional. So that was really positive. Now, on the food side of things, I was really underwhelmed. I have to say, the sandwiches felt a little bit like a bad packed lunch, but someone had cut the crusts off. I mean, you know, there was nothing memorable about it. It was a chicken sandwich, smoked salmon sandwich, egg sandwich, ham sandwich, and a cucumber sandwich. I mean, the worst for me was the cucumber sandwich. I think my big beef with it was the bread. There's so many artisan bakeries in the area, some really interesting breads. You know, you could have had some focaccia, you could have had some sourdough, something to just change things up a bit. But that felt like bread out of a bag of sliced bread, and thick sliced bread.
With any meal, if you get off to a bad start, it's hard to recover, isn't it?
That's true.
You know, if you start off thinking, I'm excited, and then you go, oh,
yeah,
it's hard to make it back
true.
from there, I think.
That's true. The cakes, the first round of cakes, the lemon cake didn't do it for me. I'm not a massive fan of Christmas cake. That's one of those cakes that hangs around for weeks and months after Christmas because nobody really fancies it. It's very heavy. And then the Battenberg cake, too much marzipan, too much food colouring, too sweet. The scones were good, enjoyed those, enjoyed the lemon curd. The cream was lovely. They were decent scones, and there was plenty of it. And then for me, the final course with the cakes, it was a bit gimmicky, if I'm honest. Very sweet. Yeah, they looked nice. They were okay. So that's kind of where I'm coming at. Do you want my number?
Go on then, you hit me with the number.
I'm going to give it 4.
Wowza. 4,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
really
a blow.
Quite disappointed.
That is a blow, wow.
For the Merrion, for such a reputable hotel. I'd have expected a bit more. I mean, interestingly, next door they have a dinner option, you know, that is truly exceptional. One day we'll have to go there.
Yeah, give it a try.
Patrick Guibaud's,
Okay.
really, really amazing food.
Well, 4, that's a low score. So I think a lot of the things that you said I'd agree with. I think the sandwiches were disappointing, and they felt a bit like if you go to one of your relatives' houses and they've made little poor sandwiches and you're forced to eat them, you're sort of like, oh, do we have to eat these sandwiches, Mum? And yes, you do. Get them down. Yeah, felt a bit like that. Too much food, too voluminous. And what we saw at the end with the cakes, it shows that the kitchen has the capability of producing exceptional food. And the fillings in the sandwiches were overall pretty decent. It's just the way they'd done it was wrong. So I think they got the sandwiches right. I don't have a problem with the actual the menu. I'm happy with these 5 sandwiches because it's similar to what you get on a lot of afternoon tea. So I don't object to that. But I think the way they were made and the bread and the thickness and the size, it was all wrong. I didn't like that. The extra little course of those mini cakes, don't know why they did that. Don't need it. Never seen it on any afternoon tea before. Didn't add anything. Actually detracted. Weren't very nice. Filled you up. Bit disappointing. So we'd had 2 rounds of disappointment before we got to the scones. So we were already defeated in terms of whether this was going to be a great afternoon tea. Scones are okay. Had better. You're all right. Leave it at that. And then the cakes at the end were, quite a nice little touch. I think if that had come at the end of a really nice afternoon tea, you'd think, oh, this is really nice and it's an excellent way of finishing off. But it was sort of streets ahead of all the other rounds of it. So it's almost like somebody else had done the final bit and then, they bought in the other things. So it didn't fit together. It wasn't a great afternoon tea. The teas are great. The environment's brilliant. Staff are really helpful, really friendly, let us do some filming, so all of that, fantastic. It's a nice place to come to, but the food is a bit of a disappointment. Yeah. So for me, I'm going to give it 5 out of 10. I think for €75, you could probably get something better somewhere else. I think there's probably other options in Dublin to look at, so maybe you'll find us at one of those at some point soon. So thank you very much for watching this video all the way through to the end. If you haven't done it already, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We will see you on the next meal.